Adverbs and adverbial phrases. Okay. Adverbs and adverbial phrases describe an action or modify adjectives or other verbs. They can be one word, for example, never, sometimes, extremely, or they can be a phrase, 3 times a week or a bit of. Ok, so, ¿qué es lo que quiere decir esto? ¿Sí? Que nosotros vamos a encontrar un montón de adverbios o frases adverbiales que van a describir o van a modificar acciones o van a modificar adjetivos o incluso un adverbio puede modificar a otro adverbio. Okay? There are different types of adverbs and adverbial phrases. We have adverbs or adverbial phrases of manner. These describe how someone does something, ¿sí? Describen cómo alguien hace tal cosa. Look at here, you have a chart, okay? We place the adverb of manner generally at the very end of the sentences. We have the subject, verb, or phrasal verbs, and the adverb of manner at the very end. They drive very fast. Our adverbial phrase in this case is very fast, ¿sí? Adverbial phrase porque está compuesto de dos adverbios. Okay? But when we have passive verbs, cuando tenemos verbos que están en la voz pasiva, ¿sí? Ese adverb of manner, it's placed between the verb to be and the main verb. She was sadly mistaken. Ok, vamos a colocar lo que es el adverbio de modo, ¿sí? Entre el verbo to be, que es lo que nos indica la voz pasiva, y el verbo principal. En este caso, mistaken. Ok, so. Then, we have adverbs of frequency. These are very common in the present simple. ¿Ya? Son muy comunes en lo que es el presente simple, pero también obviamente los podemos utilizar en otros verbos, en otros tiempos verbales. So, acá pasa algo similar con lo que respecta a lo que es el verbo to be. When we have the verb to be, we place the adverb of frequency after the verb to be. ¿Sí? He was never there. To be, adverb of frequency. Now, when we have any other verb, we place the adverb of frequency before the verb. We sometimes travel to Europe. Okay, to be, adverb of frequency, and the verb, any other verb. When there are two auxiliary verbs, cuando tenemos dos verbos auxiliares, ¿sí? We place the adverb of frequency between the auxiliary verb 1 and the auxiliary verb 2. For example, I will never have thought you were 40. Jamás hubiese imaginado que tenés 40. ¿Sí? We have would is our first auxiliary verb, and have is the second auxiliary verb, and then we have the main verb. Este es el verbo principal. ¿Sí? Verbo auxiliar, verbo principal. ¿Sí? Como tenemos dos verbos auxiliares, el adverbio de frecuencia va a ir entre esos dos verbos auxiliares. Then, we can use sometimes, normally, usually, etc. at the beginning for emphasis. Okay, when we place some of these adverb of frequency at the very beginning, we are making an emphasis. Usually, my boyfriend has dinner with his family on Sundays. ¿Sí? Acá estamos haciendo énfasis. Okay. Then another type of adverbs or adverbial phrases are those adverbs of time and place. Time and place, tiempo y lugar. And they are generally placed at the very end of the sentence. She reads books every day. Every day is an adverb of time. They had bought DVDs here. This is an adverb of place. Okay? If there are a time adverb and a place adverb in a sentence or clause, si tenemos un adverbio de tiempo, un adverbio de lugar, en una oración, en una clause, ¿sí? Clause era, por ejemplo, cuando teníamos dos oraciones que están unidas por una coma, ¿sí? Como lo es el caso de los conditionals, ¿sí? Bueno. So, my parents will be here in an hour, ¿sí? Cuando tenemos estos dos tipos de adverbios en una oración, ¿sí? Siempre vamos a colocar lo que es primero el place adverb, ¿sí? El adverbio de lugar, and then the time adverb o adverb of time, ¿sí? At the very end, ¿sí? Adverbio de lugar seguido del adverbio de tiempo. My parents will be here in an hour. Another type of adverb or adverbial phrases are those of degree. Adverbs of degree describe how much something is done, or they can modify an adjective. We use extremely, incredibly, very, etc. before adjectives or before adverbs. For example, I am extremely good at English. She walks incredibly slowly. Ok, tenemos dos adverbios que están modificando un adjetivo y un adverbio. Ok, y generalmente utilizamos estos, y obvio que hay más, antes de adjetivos o adverbios. A lot or much goes after verbs, ¿sí? Estos dos adverbios van después que los verbos. For example, my husband works a lot. ¿Sí? Tenemos el verbo y luego seguido tenemos a lot. Then we have a little or a bit of that goes before an adjective or after a verb. ¿Sí? Estos pueden ir antes de un adjetivo o después de un verbo. Ok, for example, I feel a bit tired. Tenemos un adjetivo. Antes del adjetivo podemos colocar a bit. We rested a little after the flight. After a verb, ¿sí? Ok, so rested is the verb, then we have a little. Acá tenemos algo parecido, ¿sí? Con after a verb tenemos verbo, a bit, pero en este caso está modificando un adjetivo. And the last type of adverb are those of comment. Adverbs of comment give the speaker's opinions, ¿ok? Dan la opinión del que está hablando, ¿sí? We place them at the beginning of a sentence or a clause. Siempre los vamos a colocar al principio de una oración or a clause. For example, unfortunately, he never arrived. At the very beginning. Followed by a comma, in this case. I thought I had lost my wallet, but fortunately it was in my bag. ¿Sí? Acá tenemos una oración formada por dos clauses. ¿Sí? One clause and the other clause. Fortunately, the adverb of comment goes at the very beginning. Va al principio. Okay? Well, then you have some activities to do. I have written all these adverbs that you will have to categorize in this chart. Okay, you have to place, you have to complete the chart in writing the adverbs on the right column, and that's it. Yeah, you have manner, frequency, time, place, degree, comment. Okay, you have a long list. This is vocabulary for you. And of course, then you have some activities on your student book and your workbook. Okay, sorry, here goes page. You have grammar bank to do activities about adverbial phrases and adverbs. You have vocabulary about this also, and then you have activities to do. Yeah, you have reading and comprehension, and then you have some practice on your workbook.